Ethan Klein. He shared a screenshot of a screenshot of a screenshot of something I said. He's also like a very big pro-Israel moron.
I don't think Ethan Klein's audience is remotely seemingly pro-Israel as he is, which is why he's constantly duking it out with his own audience. But
I like how Hasan says that, like ignoring the fact that he poisoned the out of so much of his audience and basically greenlit so many of the unhinged attacks against Ethan.
Leftists who hate America and think that like anything that's anti-American is good. I noticed lots of those in the chat, and I hate you guys.
If you were ever wondering, like, in an alternative universe, what would happen if, like, America didn't fight the Nazis, but instead, like, joined the side of the Nazis? Well, now you know, okay?
What? Israel's Nazi Germany now? Apparently Israel is bombing Lebanon. I don't know if they're going to invade or not. I said before, after 2006, that if Israel invaded Lebanon, Hezbollah might be able to f up hardcore. I didn't have much belief or faith that the Israeli military could conduct itself in such a way that they would win that war if they were to do it. But holy bro, Israel is up. Oh my god. The bro, that pager walkie-talkie that was some wild shit. They talk about being in somebody's head. Oh my god. My god. What do you mean specifically? Why would Hezbollah beat Israel? Hezbollah is a very sophisticated military outfit. Like they're on their shit pretty well. They had a massive stockpile of missiles, supposedly the third largest in the world. I don't know how many they have now after everything getting blown the up. Yeah. How did that work? Did they just put bombs on the pagers? Yeah, they probably armed them all because I guess they were a middleman supplier somehow to Hezbollah. But considering how many pagers exploded, I mean, it was a pretty precise attack. I feel like historically it's probably going to be talked about like the Stuxnet thing was for the Iranian nuclear reactors. Like, they pretty hard. It's pretty insane. Jesus. Not very many died, though. You don't have to kill very many. Pretty sure there were thousands injured, right? Bro, I saw some of the videos of those injured people. Those guys are f***ed. Yeah, and then they got him a few days later with the walkie-talkies. I think for one of the first times ever, Nasrallah was like releasing like pre-recorded speeches and shit because nobody knows when their shit's gonna blow up, like his death note. Do you think Israel's going down a dark path with the rise in settler right-wing extremism, going to war on multiple fronts, etc.? I think the Hezbollah stuff was actually really well done. I think that was a good idea, and I think they executed that really well. West Bank stuff is always tragic. They need to wrap up the Gaza Strip shit. I haven't kept up with what's going on there. I don't know why or what's going on or why they haven't winded down that military operation yet and then shifted into the occupation/rebuilding whatever phase. But did what Israel do count as a terrorist attack? I don't know. Terrorism is like, it's a very political term. It's very much like a perspective. In the Middle East, it's hard to identify any particular thing as a terrorist attack or not. Like, was Pearl Harbor a terrorist attack, or was Hiroshima and Nagasaki, or those terrorist attacks? Or the Six-Day War in 1967, like that very first attack Israel did that preemptively, was that a terrorist attack? Or in Yom Kippur in 1973, when the three countries invaded and attacked Israel, does that count as terrorist? I don't know. In the Middle East, terrorism is hard to identify because nobody really plays by the rules over there. There's some discussion about whether or not the pagers would be considered a booby trap. Thoughts? I don't know if, I think booby traps, I'm trying to think before we look it up. I think booby traps have to be defined as something that ordinarily you wouldn't expect. Like, I think booby trapping is supposed to induce fear in the enemy military when you booby trap your own shit. And when you increase the likelihood for civilians dying. I don't know if bombing like pagers and like that would be considered booby trapping. I'm not sure. We can look it up though. I don't think it would be. The use of booby traps, which are in any way attached to or associated with objects or persons entitled to special protection under international humanitarian law, or with objects that are likely to attract civilians, is prohibited. So maybe the fact that these were distributed only to Hezbollah, which it looks like they basically were. Hezbollah obviously isn't entitled to any special protection, so... You wouldn't ordinarily expect pagers or walkie-talkies to become an explosive, though, right? I don't know how true this is, but supposedly other devices like solar power equipment were also sabotaged. But I don't know. Well, I mean, if they're pagers that literally go out only to Hezbollah, then Would you consider 9/11 a terrorist attack? I mean, if you were to say anything was a terrorist attack, 9/11 would probably would probably qualify. You're hijacking civilian. It's a non-state actor taking civilian airliners, crashing into civilian buildings for the purposes of terrorizing a civilian population. Seems, if anything is a terrorist attack, 9/11 probably is, right? The argument a lot of people were making is that Hezbollah gave them to their civilian members as well, like some doctors/politicians. Yeah, it's hard to know if they even count as civilians or if they'd be military targets as well. Like, I believe enemy leadership is considered fair game in terms of law of armed conflict, but all of that gets very murky, especially because a lot of these people are non-state actors, so it's hard to say, right? Can states do terrorism? I thought it was more of a thing that non-state actors do. Maybe. Like, terrorism is a perspective. There's not like an international definition of terrorism or anything. It's just kind of like it's a subjective term we use. Do you think they put explosives in the pagers/talkies or just use high capacitors and some ready-to-execute program? I imagine they put some kind of explosive something in them. I mean, if you're talking about high capacitors or whatever, that's something is explosive in there. Yeah, they weren't ordinary pagers, right? How is Hezbollah a non-state actor? They're a part of the Lebanese government. I think they have a few seats there, yeah, but they're not like an official part of the government, other than some of their members that are in some of the seats, right? Like, is my understanding. Why does nobody talk about the thousands of Israelis who have been displaced from the north for months? Because nobody gives a f about the Jews. Why does Lebanon let them chill there? Because Lebanon doesn't have the army to fight them off, and I think Assad is pretty chill with them as well. I think Hezbollah does a lot of military shit in Syria too, right? Apparently they blew up after a few rings, making them more effective, but also had situations where children picked them up to hand to their parents. Sure, I heard 2 children were injured, or 1 died and 1 was injured. But I mean, given the ordinary ratios of like civilian to military deaths, it seems like it was probably one of the most successful attacks ever, I think. No? Unless I missed a ton of civilian casualties. Although I guess it depends on if they count their Hezbollah political people or whatever as civilians or whatever, yeah. Would you consider someone who is a member of Hezbollah but works internally in some aspect that isn't military political to be a valid target? I don't know. I think it's all sketchy there. It's hard to say. Israel probably does, considering that all of, like, for instance, like the Hamas like doctors and everybody in the Gaza Strip, these were all just supposed to be with no affiliation with Hamas whatsoever. They were just part of the health ministry. But then there's all these video things that come out of them, like helping terrorists, usher hostages into, into rooms and shit. I mean, Israel probably just considers all of them, if you're part of the organization, a military target, would be my guess, but I mean, I don't know, obviously.
Influencers or people, like that guy Ethan Klein, like he shared a screenshot of a screenshot of a screenshot of something I said, which I love when that happens. He's like somebody who, it's like, okay, clearly he has like an audience of like people on the internet or whatever, but he's also like a very big pro-Israel moron. And like clearly like there is like some like novel development.
When I hear people like this speak, I just think that like you would have more money than Trump if you would have invested every dollar that you wasted smoking marijuana through high school and college, if you would have just invested that instead. You hear it? That weed voice?
Which I love when that happens. He's like somebody who, it's like, okay, clearly he has like an audience of like people on the internet or whatever, but he's also like a very big pro-Israel moron. And like clearly like there is like some like novel development in like, how certain people are like effective pro-Israel advocates now, representing that viewpoint from like a younger generation, but like, who are like achieving something even if they don't have the finesse of like, earlier folks or whatever.
I don't think Ethan Klein's audience is as even remotely seemingly pro-Israel as he is. That's my assessment, which is why he's constantly duking it out with his own audience or with regular frequency on this issue. But
I like how Hasan says that, like ignoring, like it's just like kind of a cutesy little ignoring thing. The fact that he poisoned the out of so much of his audience and basically greenlit so many of the unhinged attacks against Ethan. And then meanwhile, like cries like a little baby bitch to XQC whenever his like chat room says anything remotely mean towards him. I don't know if he does anymore. I think that bridge might be completely burned.
The engineers in the comments.
Probably. Jesus. Not that I read, though. Here's the thing. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. So many of you unhappy about how Ethan handled his debate with Fid. There was lots of I can only describe as pro-Russia simps. I don't know, like pseudo-tanky pro-Russia simps, or just leftists who hate America and think that like anything that's anti-American is good. I noticed lots of those in the chat, and I hate you guys, just so you know. Like, I just think I despise your view on politics, and I have no respect for you. But that's okay. Keep watching anyway.
You're a true hero, bro.
Thank you. You know, America's bad. We get it. American military base in Poland, good. Benefits the Polish. They love it there. Security assurances.
Yeah.
Boost the economy even. I'm telling you, it's good. American military base in Poland is good.
Yes.
Sorry to break it to y'all.
I would be careful with that. I don't know that that's universally true. Like, I think Japan has had issues with our bases there. At least I feel like I read about this a while ago. I don't know if everybody necessarily feels that way, but it might be true, like as a rule of thumb, maybe, but maybe not in all cases. I'm not sure.
Guess what?
It grows the. Guess what? American military bases in like Iraq, not good, right? But that was a war. That was a whole war. That whole war was not good, right? America fucked up their whole foreign diplomacy situation with the Iraq war, but you know what I'm saying? I still believe in America, right, Tom?
Absolutely. We're pro-American here.
Absolutely. That's right. So here's the thing. I'm Ukrainian. Some of Fidias' arguments were hitting too hard and were painful to listen to. I wish there was less influence of pro-Russia propaganda on the minds of decision. I agree. I mean, I'm kind of surprised by the amount of people on the left, because I mean, these are the people that are watching our show, who are like,
who has love for Putin? Like, what?
It's more subtle than that. They go like, lol at Ethan thinking like American military bases as anything but like exploitative and invading and taking over and stuff. Look, like, I get where you're coming from, but like, I don't think it's that simple. I mean, you got to look on a case by case basis. Some are good, some are bad. You know, you can't say that all the countries with military bases don't want them there. That's just not the case. It's just wrong. Thank you for listening. However, I didn't ask every single person in Poland, so just don't know. But anyway, we did some fudging. It's a work in progress. How are we feeling about the audio here?
Why was Ethan ever friends with Hasan if he always felt this way? It's not like Hasan makes any effort to hide his hatred of America. Did he make this revelation after October 7th? The October 7th stuff really accelerated it. But I think Hasan actually does like hide his power level decently well around some people. Hasan does a good job at like hiding his power level initially. But I mean, consider the fact that, right, he's Jewish. And then you have the fact that October 7th happens and now Israel and his wife are implicated directly. It's going to be a lot harder to hide, the hatred and the anti-Semitism that reeks from Hasan's community of children. Wait, somebody said, did Will Neff get banned? He did for streaming movies? Oh, well, what's the controversy?
And it's if you were ever wondering, like, in an alternative universe, what would happen if, like, America didn't fight?
He streams movies, like, every single week? Well, I mean, how can you complain then? I mean, if you get hit, you get hit. That's just part of the gamble.
Yes.
What, does he have licenses to do it? Did he contact the people? I mean, like, how many viewers does he get when he's restreaming full movies? What the fuck? I mean, what do you think is going to happen? He's not complaining? Oh. What is this post title? Will Neff banned for following through on promised chatters. What if the promise was to assassinate his sibling? What a weird title. Okay.
Will showed hole, and he got banned. So anyway.
Wow, good clip. Nice clip. Good one.
And Will showed hole, and he got banned. So anyway.
I'm sorry, aren't people aware that Shawshank Redemption is anything but a free on-demand TV movie? Limeo, what do you think that has to do with anything? That has nothing to do with whether or not you can stream it or not. Why did this thread induce schizophrenia and like a dozen commentators? My best guess is that Will is friends with you-know-who, so by proxy, a certain group that has taken over this subreddit can't stand him. Do we hate Will here? I don't think I've ever heard of. He got a little bit of the crossfire, I think, between me and Hasan. I don't think anything is. I don't know if we've ever hated Will ever. He seems like a funny dude. I don't have any problems with him. Streaming video games is DMCA-able, technically. You're a hypocrite if you care about streaming movies, but don't care about video games. My God, what a fucking retard! Holy shit. Well, he's playing a free movie on YouTube. Is it free on YouTube? Holy shit. Well, guys, it's time to watch House 24/7. It's free on YouTube.
I don't know why you're here, but I didn't do it.
What's the who's shoplifting down at the mall?
Officer, you have my word it won't happen again. Because next time, she won't get caught. I cured all my patients, so I came home to spend time with...
Is it hate watch a clock?
And it's if you were ever wondering, like, in an alternative universe, what would happen if, like, America didn't fight the Nazis, but instead, like, joined the side of the Nazis? Well, now you know, okay? And it's additional.
What? That is Nazi Germany now? Even if we go by the propaganda map, these are the worst Nazis ever. They've taken over this area. That's it. In how many years has this country existed? Like 80 years, bro. How far did Germany get in like 4 or 5 years during wartime? Look at this. They were fucking everywhere. Okay. Wait, not this. Hold on. Where's the big one? I'm assuming it's this. Did they really capture parts of Norway? Is this true? I have no idea. Look at that. Now that's a country. That's a goddamn country right there. Okay. My God. My God. The Nazis marched through winter to Stalingrad. Okay. The Jews have barely even gotten to Cairo and Beirut. We're really going to compare these guys? Not even close. Not even close. No offense.
Additionally crazy because, like, now we can see it happening in real time. Back in the day, the Red Cross also very famously went into the camps and did propaganda for the Nazi government, right? To make it seem as though these were not death camps. There's a very famous instance of this. People that were sent to these death camps did not know that they were being sent to death camps. They thought that these were concentration camps. But because there wasn't real-time evidence as to what was actually going on, with the exception of, like, the people that were living in the villages, and even then that is disputed, but people fucking knew what was going on, obviously, right? But, like, with the exception of people that were, like, directly there in the surrounding areas, like, information could be kept quiet. You can't really do that in the modern day and age. And yet,
yeah, why the did the Jews fight in the Warsaw Ghetto? How retarded if they thought they were just going to a concentration camp.
People know, and people now can also basically operate like they are a German villager, a German townsfolk that is living right next to a fucking concentration camp. They can see it, and they have full knowledge over what's going on.
Can you zoom in and see what research is going by? Oh, yeah, what are we researching today? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 tweets today, and 3 YouTube videos. Okay, busy day, busy day. What the fuck is this? I don't know what I just clicked. I don't want it. Okay.
And they can still turn a blind eye to it, okay? This is why Zone of Interest was fantastic in basically showcasing not just like the banality of evil or whatever, but like how people can act out their daily lives when unimaginable atrocities are occurring. So, you know, wonderful stuff happening. The pure depravity, the inhumanity in full display. And yeah, if you ever wondered like how this could happen, if you ever wondered how people could be complicit in the face of such glaringly obvious displays of inhumanity, okay, in the most obvious case of an ethnic cleansing campaign being conducted in front of your eyes, if you were ever wondering like how the fucking random German baker or the random German accountant was you know, smelling the fucking ashes and having the ashes fall on them next to a goddamn concentration camp and still maintain their daily activities and still live their fucking lives as though, you know, nothing is different, and in certain instances maybe even taking joy out of it, like these tours that were offered in Israel, boat tours in Israel off the coast of Gaza to watch it get bombed and see the place they plan to build new settlements, question mark, says Suppress News. I'm not entirely certain on the accuracy of the Twitter account, but
why is Hasan still talking about Israel? He seems obsessed, truly rent-free. I think the issue is that Hasan has become so gentrified and so whitewashed that now he has decided to embrace his true Turkish ethnic identity. And what better way to do it than by hating Jews? In about 2 weeks, he's going to be shitting on Kurdish people next. Get ready for it.
This is TRT World, the Turkish national broadcaster. Here it is.
Gaza is relentlessly being erased.
And
Wait, what did he just say? Wait, what? I didn't know that. Okay.
question mark says Suppressed News. I'm not entirely certain on the accuracy of the Twitter account, but this is TRT World, the Turkish national broadcaster. Here it is.
Gaza is relentlessly being erased.
And
holy shit. Based. Yeah, I do a little bit of pre-watching. I do.
one of the greatest threats. There's two really big threats to the future of Israel. Okay, there's two.
The first big threat is that peaceful people in the world see how evil they are, and which direction is he going here? And then the second big threat is that the United States actually steps up, or is he going to go in the other way? The first big threat to Israel is that because they're so power hungry, is that they're told that they have to stop expanding. And then the second big threat is, I don't even know. Fuck, this is fucking retarded.
Phenomenal threats to the future of Israel being like a Jewish ethno-state, okay? One is Israeli Jews recognizing that Israel maybe isn't the safest place for Jews in general, or for anybody for that matter, and fucking leaving Israel and going back to Europe or going back to the United States of America, okay? That is a massive threat for the ethno-state project, right?
I don't know if it's been happening that way. Has there been an outflow of Jews from Israel? Also, go back. Go back. Go home, you Jews. We're the Tel Aviv demonstration. Go home. Go back to Europe. Ashkenazis, let's be real. Where are my Jewish brothers in here? These white, we don't even call them Ashkenazis, okay? We call them Euro Jews, okay? Get them the out of here. These guys aren't Middle Eastern. You think Jesus looked like Hitler? You got this Jew over here who's whiter than I am. I'm Jewish. Oy vey, motherfucker. You probably don't even speak Hebrew. Get them the out of here. Get them out of this goddamn country. Send them back to Poland, where they came from.
All of a sudden ruin everything. If people voluntarily fucking leave, and it's happening already, then that's a major problem. That is a major problem.
True.
Right? So that's number one. And number two is obviously like Israeli people, like the Jewish demographic of the Israeli population, recognizing the humanity of Palestinians would be devastating to the apartheid project. Like
True.
Absolutely devastating. And in every circumstance, they have to keep like normal Israeli people that would be a part of like standing together or whatever, away from like coming to a recognition that
Hasan seems like the kind of guy who would wander into his bathroom, and because he's so retarded and forgets to flush the toilet, he'd see like a piece of shit sticking out of the toilet and think it's like a Snickers bar.
Palestinians are human beings. And Israel's enemies are actually like real human beings with like real motivations for emancipation and not just like bloodthirsty anti-Semites.
How's the script going? I think I've got an idea of how I want to start it, but I've been like hardcore procrastinating and gooning the entire 2 days, but I think maybe I can get it done tonight. I think right now I think the plan is I think I'm going to try to get it done tonight, and then I think I need to find a crazy editor. I'll probably offer a decent chunk of change for it, but I'll probably go through Tom to find a recommendation or something. I feel like it's going to come in I feel like it's going to be about an hour long. I've been trying to timestamp like what I want. I don't know how involved I'm going to be like in the final editing process, but like I'm scripting stuff, and then I've got like structure obviously and all of that. Well, this is just how the video would flow from like start to finish. Purple is me reading. So it's a lot of narration. I don't know how much I want narration versus I've also got a lot of video footage too. I don't know. I figure the editor will have something to say about that once I figure it out, but hopefully, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? Why is August not good enough? August might be able to do it, but I want it to be like a whole ass, like a Let Me Know kind of production. Not like, I don't think with this much polish, because I'm probably going to need it done in like 2 weeks. But I have to pay somebody to like, I need somebody who wants to work on this for 2 weeks, but like really 2 weeks, like 8 hours a day, 10 days straight to get this done. Yeah, we'll see. I'm just trying to like, I posted this is like the narrative. Like I'm just trying to weave a bunch of stories together and then build and then climax and then build and rising action and falling action, all that bullshit. So, yeah, I don't know. I think what I'll do is I've got somebody that's made streamables of every clip. So what I'll probably do is I'm going to talk to Tom and I'll put out a call on Twitter and maybe on my stream that I'm willing to pay anywhere from, I don't know, $5,000 to $20,000 for somebody to spend 2 weeks to create like a high quality video or a team of people, depending on how much I need for it to be done that fast. In the meantime, I will probably, I'll probably do another like meme focus group with 6 people where I basically just read down the script and then show them the streamables. And then see if they feel like any big thing is missing or if there's anything I can like tweak while the editor's working on the final product. And then, yeah, the goal I think is to have this out at least 2 weeks before the election would be the goal, but the timelines are a little crunched. Yeah. What minimum reaction to the video would make you feel like it was worth making? I don't know. To be honest, as weird as it sounds, of all the stuff I've done, like the J6 research kind of actually feels like the most impactful, even though I feel like I haven't had the most debates over it, just because I've gotten so many emails and I've seen so many comments across so many different forums about people saying like, oh, I talked to my friends or my parents or whoever about this and they didn't know that and that and that and that, which is surprising to me given how dry a lot of the material feels. But I don't know. This better be your magnum opus. It's the most work I've ever put on any video before. That's for goddamn sure. But I've never scripted anything. Do you think that ignoring the corniness, that making this video is valuable and that it allows you to tie together the whole thing in your head and see it big picture? Kind of. But like the frustrating thing is that there are so many facts for this. There's so much. And like every day, like I'll discover like a whole new thing where I'm like, holy it's only a matter of presentation. Like if you take in enough facts, you can't, reasonable minds cannot disagree about what happened, right? Trump and his team knew they lost the election. They knowingly engaged in lies and fraud across all the states and to the federal government. There was a coherent plan the entire time to try to steal the election, knowing that no court would ever sign off on. Like all of it is like, it's very, very, very obvious. And whatever you like dig in another direction, you just find more and more and more pointing in that direction. Isn't it interesting how big of a story the FBI requesting Twitter take down some accounts was? Meanwhile, the now current owner of Twitter, Musk, is being considered for an administrative position by Trump. Yeah, and Twitter, I like how Twitter is just like blatantly partisan now. Like the fact that Elon Musk is just like full on deep throating Trump constantly. Like all the Republicans are like, oh, it's okay. Yeah. And when they were flipping shit, they felt like there was even a hint of political partisanship. Can you imagine if like Zuckerberg was reposting like accounts from libs that were doxing conservatives? Like it would be insane. Jesus. Imagine if Mark Zuckerberg did what Musk is doing. Reddit literally bans Trump supporting subs and allows Kamal supporting subs, supports that sees no contradiction. There is nothing. Excuse me. I'm sorry, real quick. Can you give me one example of a major social media platform owner that posts AI disinformation about candidates or blatantly and openly and avowedly on that platform shows favoritism to a single candidate, saying over and over again, like, we absolutely need to elect this candidate. We absolutely need to have this person win the election. Show me that. Show me Zuckerberg or show me Bezos or anybody doing anything even remotely equivalent to that. And I know you're already saying, well, actually, but they did ban this. Well, I'll wait for that comparison. Okay, you're not going to find it. You're frantically typing it. Well, what about when they banned r/conservative for 4 hours? You're frantically typing some other bullshit. You're never going to have anything that's even remotely equivalent to that. Not even close.
Can you give your full name, please?
Major O'Donnell, the FBI.
Is that sufficient to identify as the only one O'Donnell affiliated with the FBI?
In New Hampshire, yes.
Could you please state your full name, sir?
Could you please stop recording?
No. It's First Amendment right.
Okay.
What's your name, sir?
Could you stop recording, please?
Absolutely not. You can show me your name and identification, or I'm going to go back inside my house.
Okay. I don't really want to broadcast my...
Oh, this is going out right after you guys walk away.
So that's why I'm not going to...
So you can show me your name and ID, you can walk away.
We just want to talk to you about something.
I'm not going to talk to people who claim to be federal agents unless they can show me identification.
Okay, well, you see our badges.
I need to see... Is your full name on that badge?
No.
I'd like to see something with your full name or I'm not going to talk to you.
I prefer you not to broadcast it.
This will be going online as soon as you walk away.
Well, all I want to do is talk to you about a post that was made, and if you happen to be the one that made the post.
I want to talk to you about you guys coming here. Say you make a salary of, I don't know what, low 100K? You guys making six figures?
Jesus. Is that the average, like, FBI? Average FBI, who would these be? Office? I don't even know. The average yearly salary for a Federal Bureau of Investigation special agent in the U.S. is around $105,000. However, salaries can vary depending on the number of factors, including experienced new agents may get $78K. Experienced agents may earn up to $153. I wonder if in Florida, if these guys are really pulling 100K.
Factor in 50% expenses over.
Why is the FBI going to a dude's house for a post? What was the post? My guess is there were probably reports that the post had violence threatened in it or something, or maybe something about some kind of government official, if the FBI is showing up.
Overhead, maybe 100% expenses. Talking about burning a couple $100 an hour just here, let alone all the time you guys are spending to investigate something that you know is not against the law.
Were you shocked at the pay because it's higher than you thought? I have no idea, actually. I don't know what an FBI agent would get. 100K sounds kind of high, but I guess they're federal agents. No, it still does sound kind of high. That does sound a little bit high. That's higher than I would have expected. I would have expected it to be anywhere from like 60 to 80K. Would have been my expectation. But I don't know. Maybe it's... Shouldn't they always identify themselves here? It seems real weird that they're not. I don't think you have to identify yourself. They could just walk away. They could just have questions. It's just a post online, so I doubt that they've met like any kind of standard of evidence. Like they don't have like a reasonable suspicion to perform an investigation or like probable cause to do an arrest. They probably just get tips online and they want to follow up on things, so they show up at houses and then they ask you questions about it to see if they can gain more evidence of a crime or think that there's not a crime and then leave, basically.
100% expenses. Talking about burning a couple $100 an hour just here, let alone all the time you guys are spending to investigate something that you know is not against the law, right? Like you're familiar with. So then why would you come?
Is it similar to how the FBI talked to you? Basically, yeah. Except I didn't greet them at the video with a camera.
Because we wanted to make sure that there weren't any other
No, you're
threats.
coming because you're part of a regime that does this kind of thing when you know laws aren't being broken. And that's an embarrassment, man. Didn't you guys read the Constitution? Do you not believe in America? Like, how do you do your jobs and go home?
We appreciate it.
You're walking away. Because nothing we did is against the law, and you guys are heads that try to act like bullies. And I hope you go home and are embarrassed. You can't even say your name on camera because you know that what you're doing is embarrassing. You know Americans that believe in the Constitution think you're laughable. And you go home and you think about what you did today. Go home and think about it, you cowards. Drive away. Drive away.
Thank you for your time, sir.
You're not welcome. You should be embarrassed. Embarrassing. You guys are embarrassing.
Apparently, he posted on Twitter saying, anyone who murders Kamala Harris would be an American hero. Amid backlash, the account deleted the post, citing the social media platform's TOS. He said, libertarians are truly the most oppressed minority. And then he posted, apparently in a post that's still up on his account, he said, the point of the Second Amendment is to shoot and kill tyrannous politicians. Probably not. I feel like if you're tweeting things out like this, you're probably going to get a visit from the FBI, but... What's his at? He's the New Hampshire libertarian account, supposedly. This thing. The guy that made this tweet. Anyone who murders Kamala Harris would be an American hero. Why are libertarians like this? These people are not libertarians. I'd be very, very careful. New age libertarians have basically nothing to do with like the libertarians from even 15 or 20 years ago. Libertarians today are just fashy dick sucks that are too shy, embarrassed, or whatever to acknowledge that they suck dick for Trump like every second of the day when they're not LARPing as libertarians in public. The libertarian people that exist today online are basically 100% fully like bought and paid for MAGA-tards, and they have almost no relation to the libertarians of like 15, 20 years ago. Can the FBI do anything if you say shit like that, or can you just spam it all day? My guess would be that something like this wouldn't pass any kind of like Brandenburg like incitement or whatever. You're not giving like a specific time or reasonable expectation something would happen, would be my guess. But there might be another federal law or state law that you're breaking by saying stuff like this. I don't know. I don't know what the laws are for tweeting stuff like this or for making these types of statements. Somebody said Title 18 U.S. Code, Section 871A. Oh, threats against the president and successors to the presidency. Whoever knowingly and willfully deposits for conveyance in the mail or for a delivery from any post office or by any letter carrier any letter, paper, writing, print, missive, or document containing any threat to take the life of, to kidnap, or to inflict bodily harm upon the President of the United States, President-elect, the Vice President, or other officer next in the order of succession. Okay, so there's a special law for President and the President's successors. I don't know what would count, though, as the threat, though. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it would pass the Brandenburg thing or whatever. I'm not sure. Utah man suspected of threatening President Joe Biden shot and killed as the FBI served a warrant. What did he say? Robertson posted online Monday that he'd heard Biden was coming to Utah and was planning to dig out a camouflage suit and begin cleaning the dust off the M24 sniper rifle. Jesus. What happened when the FBI showed up? He was a boomer. According to court documents, 2 FBI agents came to Robertson's house after the initial warning about him from Truth Social in March. They found Robertson wearing a Trump cap and what one described in a search warrant affidavit as an AR-15 style rifle lapel pin. According to the affidavit, he told them his initial threat was just a dream and demanded they only returned with a warrant. And a Facebook post days later, cited in the affidavit, he said, "To my friends in the Federal Bureau of Idiots, I know you're reading this, and you have no idea how close your agents came to violent eradication." Jesus. In another undated social media post cited in the document, Robertson wrote, "Hey FBI, you still monitor my social media? Checking so I can have a loaded gun handy in case you drop by again." Jesus. Post from July 21st, unearthed by Site Intelligence Group, which monitors online extremism, read, "If I really told you what I'd like to do to Joe Biden, Facebook would censor me and the FBI would pay me another visit." Huh. Rip.